Hello, Wolfpack! We're back, and we have a special top 5 list. Since this list is made to celebrate the anniversary of our channel, Wolf and Friends Gaming, so it's a special posthumous list since we missed the anniversary date. But we hope you'll enjoy this video we have. And as you read by the title of this video, this is the top 5 video game wolves. Also includes werewolves and other wolfmen. So sit back and enjoy the ride.
The night is getting darker, and the full moon is in the sky. In the distance you hear a howl, and a blood-curdling cry. You think it's probably just the wind, but then something else happens. Something that makes you think again. There's something moving out through the night. You got that sickly, sinking feeling that something isn't right. You run to find a shelter, lock in the door. But behind you there's a shadow crawling across the floor. You turn to scream. It seems a little bit knees are shaking, pouring sweat, and your hearts are racing. Those claws, those teeth, stack underneath is that a hedgehog. Your eyes can't believe he's been electrified.
Nightwolf from the Mortal Kombat series. This Native American warrior/shaman uses magical visions and other abilities to foresee his opponents and the future events of the Mortal Kombat universe. Although he's mostly seen fighting in human form, Nightwolf does have a werewolf form, so he does qualify for the list. Nightwolf is a Native American who easily defeated Onaga, Shinnok, Freddy Krueger, and Sindel all on his own. Sadly, though, he did die in the first game, but don't worry, he comes back because it's Mortal Kombat. Nobody ever dies, and if they do, they always come back. So, it's not really a spoiler. But Nightwolf is one of the most powerful warriors in the game, and a good representative for wolves because of his heroism. Nightwolf is the most selfless character and helps others and is determined to spread good throughout the Earthrealm and the Netherrealm. He does have a ghost form and a werewolf form. The ghost is pretty much a wolf that follows him. I believe he had a wolf also named Cable, but I'm not very sure on that since I haven't played the older games. One of the cons to him is that people will argue that he is a stereotype of a Native American, and I honestly can't see that since I always thought he was a good role model for Native Americans because he's such a great hero and a true badass. But nevertheless, he is a very good werewolf character on his own, and he did create the famous move, the Animalities, in Mortal Kombat. Animality is where they transform into an animal form and finish off their opponent. Instead of a fatality, it's an animality. Ha ha ha. But yes, Nightwolf is worthy to be on this list.
Say goodbye, 'cause there's no place left to run to. There's no place left to hide. I don't feel so good about this.
Bigby Wolf from The Wolf Among Us. Once the original big bad wolf from classic fairy tales like The Three Little Pigs and Little Red Riding Hood, Bigby Wolf became reformed after his humiliating defeat from the Huntsman or the Woodsman, whichever you go by, and decided that he was done being a savage villain and wanted to become a hero. Eventually, Bigby Wolf would try to turn his life in the right direction and became the new sheriff of the fictional Fabletown, apparently located in New York. That's a bit odd, but, you know, you get the idea. It's more of a film noir with the fairy tales. Thanks to a special glamour, a device that makes characters from fairy tales look human and normal to us, he's able to, well, as the glamour implies, look human and look like a natural person who fits into our world. But believe it or not, Bigby Wolf isn't a man who turns into a wolf. He's actually a wolf who turns into a man. And Bigby's wolf form is the most awesome part about him and the game as a whole, seeing as how his wolf form is a giant, colossal, Godzilla-sized wolf. Well, maybe not Godzilla-sized, but you get the idea, it's huge. Bigby's mother was a wolf, and his father was actually a wind spirit. And his favorite cigarettes are called Huff and Puff, and I guess they give him his Huff and Puff powers. Get it? The big bad wolf will huff and puff and blow your house down and all that. But Bigby Wolf is one of the coolest characters in the video game, and definitely spreads a good word for wolves. He does follow the stereotypes of a wolf being a cynical loner, but depending on how you play him in the Wolf Among Us game, he can change for the better. Bigby is a great combatant and an excellent detective. He's pretty much like Wolverine John, Tailbane, and Batman all mixed together in one awesome form. Bigby Wolf is one wolf with a heart of gold who you do not want to cross. John Tailbane. I believe it's pronounced Tailbane. It could be Tailbane, but Tailbane sounds like it suits him more, so we'll just call him John. John was born from a human mom and a werewolf father who left. I assumed it might have been a rape where he was conceived, since we never see, and werewolves have been known in history to represent rapists alongside vampires. His mother unfortunately died in childbirth, of course leaving him an orphan because his dad didn't want to take care of him. John Tailbane was a peaceful human before realizing he was a Darkstalker on one awkward night where the full moon came and he realized he was a werewolf. Boy, puberty must have been hard for this wolf. He was shunned by humans and lived in isolation for the majority of his life. He devoted himself to fighting and maintaining his high morals in an effort to control his inner humanity as a way to control his physical humanity and become more human than wolf. Sadly, he could never fully escape his wolf form as we see in all the games, Darkstalkers series. But John Tailbane is one of the more heroic werewolves, despite his hardened and cold demeanor. He eventually has to come face to face with an evil counterpart of himself created by Jeddah, who also known as Dark Tailbane. Dark Tailbane is everything John Tailbane isn't, an evil version of himself, one with no hope, no light, and no means for peace. Dark Tailbane is eventually the final boss of his story mode. After he defeats Dark Tailbane, the real Tailbane accepts himself and opens up an orphanage to take care of kids. Yes, because doesn't this look like the guy who's a softie around children? Nevertheless, it is a heartwarming ending, and John Tailbane is one of the most awesome werewolf characters in video game history. Wolf O'Donnell from the Star Fox games. Yes, apparently his last name's O'Donnell. I didn't know that Wolf was Irish, but that's beside the point. We go by his name, Wolf, which pretty much states the animal he is. Wolf from the Star Fox games is a mercenary leader of the antagonist team Star Wolf. Yeah, clever name there, not ripping off Team Fox. And he's also Fox's personal rival, though sometimes he is Fox's frenemy, since sometimes he teams up with Fox against the bigger threats, and he does have a deep respect for his rival, and a grand sense of honor, surprisingly. However, he is nevertheless the villain who sometimes has to fight Fox, mostly in their spaceship battles, but Wolf is shown to be a good hand-to-hand combatant at times in certain games. He's pretty much called the video game's Boba Fett and Fox's evil counterpart. Wolf is one of the definitely coolest characters, and you kind of wish there was more of him in the games. Though mostly he serves as an evil counterpart to Fox, you shouldn't underestimate his character, as he can prove more dangerous than you'd think, like all wolves. I think his mysterious past kind of gives him an edge above most of the other wolves, considering we don't know much about him. Wolf is one of the greatest video game characters in history. However, it depends on his abilities, since you have to play as him, and he never has a game of his own, which surprises me. I thought that Wolf of all characters would be one of the characters who get their own spin-off game. Nevertheless, Wolf is worthy to be on this list. Amaterasu Okami from the 2006 game Okami. Amaterasu was once a human, or a demigod as the game calls it, before taking on the spirit form of a white wolf. Amaterasu lived in the celestial planes as a celestial spirit. No, not that kind. A celestial spirit pretty much overwatching the world, but apparently her world mostly revolves around Japan. I'm not sure about the original Okami myth, but the game emphasizes that she watches the whole world, but concentrates mostly in Japan in the video game. Amaterasu gains the powers of nature, and interestingly enough, each power is actually its own living split personality, who she has to befriend if you want to upgrade and expand your power. Amaterasu controls the wind, the sun, I'm guessing the river, and everything else about nature, since she's pretty much the guardian of nature. She represents majesty, wisdom, and grace, traits that aren't often found in most wolves, which makes her appear as a more incorruptible pure hero than the other wolves on this list. Amaterasu is also stated to be an artist, a peace bringer, and a goddess. She is very good at what she does, protecting Japan. I don't understand why she doesn't expand to the rest of the world, but she does a good job protecting it and keeping things good, and represents a true noble hero, unlike most of the wolves on this list. However, although the other wolves are kind heroes, they're not as noble as Amaterasu is. As Amaterasu is much more kinder and accepting of others, and doesn't have much faults with herself, as she's nearly a perfect goddess, like the game implies. Also, apparently, Capcom felt it was important to tell that she's bisexual. Not sure why that's important, seeing as how she doesn't get a romance in her game, but since they want you to know, I guess I should let you know. Nevertheless, Amaterasu is one of the greatest wolf characters. We never see her human form that much. I have never seen her human form in the game, though I'm not sure what she looks like, since we mostly see her wolf form, which is pretty much the most important form. And we see that she represents a wolf spirit watching the forest and bringing good and peace to the world forever. Amaterasu is truly the best wolf character in video game history. Thank you for watching. We hope you like, comment, subscribe, and tune in next time for more videos here on Wolf and Friends Gaming. Goodbye.
Those claws, those teeth.